Hi guys, so welcome back to another book review. And so this time I had the fortune of reading The Man Who Solved the Markets. I forgot who wrote the book. He's probably an established writer, but I think the focus was on the fact that it's based on Jim Simons, who is considered the greatest trader of all time. Not George Soros. George Soros probably had one of the greatest trades of all time, one of the greatest trades. Him and Bill Ackman, they had like good trades, and but they weren't consistently the best trader or the trader with the best results. So Jim Simons is the guy we know who's had the best results consistently over the years. And the difference with him and Warren Buffett is a long term value investor, whereas Jim Simons is a trader, an actual purebred trader, not an investor, a purebred trader. And I really wanted to get to know what he does. There's been a lot of speculation out there about his trading system. You can find it out there if you want. He used a lot of patterns. We're going to get into the specific indicators he used and patterns and things like that. So I think it's a great book. It's essentially it's a biography and all inclusive documentary on the greatest trader of all time, and you can learn about his character traits, his journey on becoming a good trader. You get to see how tedious the journey was. It wasn't like he woke up one day and he had the biggest wealthiest hedge fund of all time. Also, what's interesting about his hedge fund, the difference between his and Ray Dalio's is that his is based on his employees. So he doesn't take money from outside. It's all employees' monies, and they grow their money and they don't take outsiders' money, even though they could have made way more billions of dollars if they took other people's money. So the company that Jim Simons founded was called Renaissance Technologies. It's based on algorithmic trading and quant trading, stuff like that. If you're someone who's interested in quant trading and AI and in finance and things like that, this is a must read. He is like probably, you know, the the like the top guy on quant trading and things like that. He's a great maths guy. It tells us a lot about the importance of like math and tech, especially in finance, when you're competing against these big companies. And I've said before, don't try compete with them. Stick to where you have an advantage. But it's also just good to know what it's like trading in that kind of environment, what kind of skills you need to learn, and other things we can learn from him, from these algo traders. So it tells us of his documentary from like college until like becoming the man who sold the market, which was essentially his entire goal for his entire life. He was obsessed with gambling. So it starts off like in college years where he's like a maths guy who loves maths and IT. He became a professor and things like that. And so he loved maths and he loved IT and he loved gambling. He was a big gambler. So gambling and casino, things like that, it's really hard to make consistent gains because the house always wins, as we know. But he found his way to like stocks trading, but he started off in commodities. So he started off in commodities trading and things like that, and then he sort of ventured out into equities. So you get to see his journey in like finding gambling and being like, okay, how do I win at this game consistently? It's easy to be an investor like Ray Dalio and Warren Buffett. Well, not to say it's easy, but I'm just saying that like their job is easy and that you just have to find something which has value, which has some positive expectancy, some potential to gain, and you just park your money for the next 5-10 years. And as Warren Buffett says, you just put your money in the American stock exchange and you just hold on to the gains, or the US dollar or gold, and you just sit there. So it's very different to him, where they're using math and algos to sort of build a system that can pick stocks with the most potential. Excuse me. We talked about his maths professorship, his obsession with geometry and gambling, and yeah, he believed that the markets could be solved, and the book highlights how long and tedious that journey was for him. From saying, "Listen, I'm gonna solve the markets somehow. I know there's a way to consistently gain," and he does use a lot of patterns and indicators and things like that. His determination, I think, is just infectious. Like he had this goal from like the beginning of the book, from the beginning of like figuring equities and commodities and things like that. and he never swayed like through the challenges. For example, like when he started out and he was finding some success in commodities, he realized that a lot of people were copying his signals and his trades. So big guys, once they get involved, they tend to move the markets in a certain direction. So he had to end up like sending out like fake signals and things like that just to get people off of his case. High security that he required so that people wouldn't steal his data. He had guys who ended up being so envious of him. They wanted to like gain more prominence in the company. What else do I remember about this book? Oh yeah, like guys leaving. You obviously had like employees who'd come and then go, come and go, but like his management skills is something we should also praise. Like he's kept his executive and management system like tight knit, which I think is something like whatever venture you're adventuring on, when you find co-founders or managers or executives, find people who have the same determination and the same goal as you, who aren't going to waver, who are like, this is the North Star, this is where we're heading, and we're not going to change until we solve the markets, which I think is like the best management strategy he could give. He talks about their strategies, their data models, and things like that, which is quite complicated for me. Like, I don't know a lot of data science and things like that, but I'm sure, like, if you're a data science geek, you'll love his section on that. He used stochastics, he used GAN analysis for technical analysis. So, those are the main things that I understood, like stochastics and GAN analysis as a technical analysis. It's all in all a great book for someone who wants to start out in quant or algo trading, which is something I would want to sort of venture into like in the coming years once I actually like know a lot of programming and data and things like that. Right now I'm still a novice, like complete beginner, but I think it's just a great goal to have the power of math and coding, whether it's in finance and law, investing, or whatever it is. It's just a powerful skill to have. Um, Biggest lesson, closing off with the biggest lesson, to not give up on your dreams. I think that was like the biggest lesson he could give was like, don't give up on your dreams, stick to your purpose, build a strong team, and keep it together. Those things. Don't give up on your dreams and stick to your purpose once you find it, and build a strong team that believes in the same vision as you, and keep that team together at all costs, right? Like, don't be envious, don't try to make more money than this guy as you're a team. Don't like fight over like salaries and things like that, and prominence and fame and things like that. um I think that was it was a really good book, to be honest. It's a great documentary, great bio. I think it's almost as good as like Bitcoin Billionaires, which I haven't finished yet, but it's also like based on those the two Facebook brother twins. Those two guys is based on their life in Bitcoin and things like that. So I'm gonna read that one, and then I'll let you know what I think about that, or another book which I'm about to finish. If I find something more interesting, I'll let you know.